Recording started.
Good evening, Vishal. How are you?
Good, good evening. I'm really very good, Arun. How are you?
Good, great. I'm really excited about our session tonight because this is a session that many people have been requesting and waiting, and everybody was saying, please get Vishal sir, please get Vishal sir." So we are diving into a very important topic tonight, which is called as performance tuning. And Vishal, you are already aware that many students find this topic very challenging. Some people say that's very difficult. Some people, all your students find it easy. I don't know why. But your expertise has helped so many crack difficult interviews, and we have hundreds of success stories that speak for themselves. So, to the audience, tonight we are giving a sneak peek, only a sneak peek. It's not the entire session, right? It's not a big, huge 8 or 9 sessions. We are giving one session, which is a sneak peek into our special SQL program. Vishal, your classes have been previously, they've been incredibly valuable. And this live session will obviously highlight why your students excel in the interviews. So, without any further ado, I will hand it over to you, Vishal, because people want to hear you here. Let's hear your insights on tackling performance tuning question. So, share with us, and feel free to use English and a little bit of English, because a lot of people are from India as well. Some people may be feeling comfortable with different languages. So please feel free to do the topic your way and cover some strategies that have helped your students tackle the questions on performance tuning. So over to you, Vishal.
Thank you, Arun. Thank you. I'm also excited to be here and share my insight. So let's directly jump to the topic. So here we are going to discuss today the concept of performance tuning, and I will cover some key strategies and tips that will help you and that also help my followers and my students to excel in their interviews and their real world application. So when we talk about this performance tuning as a topic, I'm telling everyone this one question contains 30% of the weightage of your whole interview. This question is already out that when you go for an interview, this question will come for sure. So you all have to prepare how to answer. So when you answer this question, if you noticed, guys, interviewer never stop you in between. He want to listen that how much you speak. The reason is he want to know your approach, right? Because there is no thumb rule of performance tuning. There is no thumb rule of tuning. If suppose there is one straightforward rule that people are saying, I will do these two things or three things, so everybody go and follow the same 2 and 3 line funda, and all performance tuning problem will be solved. But this is not true, right? So performance tuning, there is no thumb rule of tuning. There is very much possible that your one query is working perfectly fine in one server and same query is not working fine on other server. There is because if suppose interviewer is asking, the questions are like this in the interview. My query is not running well, what can you do? Second question interviewer can ask, what is your approach of performance tuning? Third question interviewer can ask, one of my procedure can contains multiple queries and that are running. How do I know how to solve the problems or how to debug the issues of performance tuning or how to tune your application, how to tune your SQL? So when this
Absolutely.
question comes,
Yeah, absolutely. We are hearing this question again and again, and sometimes people don't know how to respond. So you're absolutely right.
so we are, yes, the same thing I'm going to cover, and we are going to straightforward from the answering how to answer to the interviewer. So performance tuning is all about how much time my business can wait. That is your understanding level. Most of you start saying that I will create index. So remember that when you start saying that I will create index, so definitely interviewer, if there's a perception comes into the interviewer mindset that you never worked on tuning part and you just memorize it from somewhere, from some PDF or some websites or somewhere in chat GPT or whatever. So never go for indexes because if the query is running perfectly well since yesterday, it means there must be index there. Interviewer don't want to listen index here. Tuning, we have to understand first. Tuning is all about how much my business can wait. If my business can wait for 5 minutes and my query is taking 5 minutes, we are okay with it. For example, suppose the people from India, we are doing a train ticket booking from IRCTC website. It took time, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, but we don't have to hurry about it. We just want that I get a confirmed ticket. That's it. Second scenario, suppose I'm going to ATM machine and insert my card and enter my PIN and I want and waiting for the money to come out. At that situation, we are maximum wait 15 seconds. If more than 15 seconds are taking, we start pressing cancel button because we can't wait. So here's the difference of performance tuning. Tuning is all about how much time my business can wait. Tuning is not about how much time my query is taking. So if my business is wait 5 minutes, query is taking 5 minutes, everything is okay. If my business is taking just wait can 30 seconds and my query is waiting, sorry, my query is taking 35 seconds, it means that I have to tune my query. So when we
Hmm.
start with the performance tuning issues, if anybody can ask, suppose interviewer asks that my query is taking time or it is not running properly, what should you do? Your first question should be from the interviewer that since when you have this problem? There are only two
Hmm.
scenarios. The two scenarios is maybe for example, the query is running perfectly fine since yesterday. Till yesterday, everything is fine. And after since yesterday, your query start taking time. The one
Hmm.
scenario. Second scenario is the query wrote maybe a year before, and that time query is taking 5 seconds, working fine. After 3 months, it is taking 10 seconds. After suppose 6 months, it is taking 1 minute. From last month, it is taking 2 minutes. Is from last week, it is taking 5 minutes, and today is stuck for 10 minutes. If you see the second scenario, when the time passes, your performance degrade. So it means the whole problem is because of the data. If my performance of my queries degrade because of a huge volume of the data, so we have to work on partitioning. Partitioning is a sure short solution to solve the problem if my table contains a huge volume of the data and because of data my performance getting slow. But in the interview, 99% of the problem the interviewer asking, my query is perfectly working fine till yesterday. Since yesterday, I have the problem. Since yesterday
Right.
or today, my query is giving time. So that is the question comes on 99% of the time. So when solving this type of problem, never say index because definitely yesterday also index present into the table. So how to solve? We have to first, if the step will be, I have to start explain plan. Remember, guys, start explain plan. Explain plan is just like a blood report. For example, suppose you go to the doctor and say, the doctor, I have a fever. So doctor has to diagnose that what happened with you. Do you have a viral fever, a normal fever, you have a typhoid, you have a chikungunya, you have a dengue, you have a COVID. So depend upon your blood test, the doctor will treat you. For every fever, he will not give you crocin or Tylenol or maybe paracetamol. He will not give you the medicine. He will test you first. Depend upon your blood report, doctor will give you medicine. In the same way, if you want to treat that query, that why query is taking time, you have to first go with explain plan. Explain plan is your first step, guys. When you say explain plan to the interviewer, it means in the real time project you are actually working in this type of work. Explain plan let you know what happened with the query. Let's see why my query is taking time. So then we can see, is there any full table scan going on? Full table scan, we can see in the explain plan. Full table scan going on, or index going on, or range scan going on, whatever. So full table scan means full table scan is not bad every time, but full table scan is an alarming situation. That why full table scan going on? That it does my indexer not follow properly, or my, for example, there is a concept of clustering factor. There is a concept of good selectivity. We will discuss about it later in this call itself. But why
Hmm.
my table is going full table scan? But full table scan is the first thing what we have to check. Why full table scan going on? Second thing, if everything is working fine, right? My index is prepared. Can I use hint? By using hint, hint is a catalyst. Hint is just like a catalyst which can change the way database is seeing the query and might change the execution path to make my performance maybe better. Third thing I can see, right? Then you can say if index is not created or corrupted, right? I can go and recreate the indexes. Then I will see the last analyzed date. Last analyzed date is a column which is present into user underscore tables and user underscore indexes. I will check this column if this date is very old. Very old
Hmm.
means considered 2 week old. Then I will ask my DBA to compute the stats. To compute the stats. Compute the stats means what? Analyze table, table name, compute statistics, analyze index, index name, compute statistics. Oracle database to compute exact stats about the analyzed object and store them into the data dictionary. It helps a lot the database to decide that how I am going to tackle of that particular database object. Next thing you can say that I will check every foreign key must be indexed. Every foreign key must be indexed. That is a very important funda which normally every developer will miss, because we are, as a developer, we are pretty good of creating constant, creating relationship.
Right.
Once we create a primary key, database will take care and create an index on that. Cluster index you can say, or unique index you can say. Database will create an index on a primary key. But foreign key, it's our responsibility to create the index. If as a developer we are creating a foreign key and not creating index, it means we are introducing an unintentional defect into the system. Unintentional defect we are introducing into the system, because I created a foreign key and I haven't created the index on top of it. Because as per documentation, I'm talking about, guys, as per database documentation, it is written that every foreign key must be indexed. If you not do that, it might sometime give you deadlock issues, and that is very hardly to reproduce in local environment. It can only comes into the production. Take an example. Suppose I have an account table and I have a department table, and they both have a foreign key associated with each other. And suppose my one user from another session try to insert, update, or delete something into account. And the same time, account and department are connected to each other via foreign key. So the whole department table will logged. Other user, if trying to access something from the department, they have to wait till this process complete. It creates a deadlock issue. So in this situation, it is always recommended that if you are writing any foreign key, we have to create index on top of it. Next,
Hmm.
you can see into the query that we have to check, can I, because when we have a complex query, database has a problem comes into, because every database nowadays, they are following cost-based optimizer, right? So when there is a complex query coming into the picture, the database doing three things. When a query run, database go to parser, the query go to parser, from parser to optimizer, and from optimizer it go to executor. This is how every query should follow: parser, optimizer, executor. So when any complex query comes, so database has a different path to run that particular query. For example, take an example. Suppose I'm writing a query and my query contains only 5 tables. Suppose table A, comma B, comma C, comma D, comma E. Now database has 5 tables, factorial 5 methods, means 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. 120 different orders database possibly go to pick a table. Maybe database can go to A first, or B first, or C first, or D first, or E first, or then after on which table. There are total 120 different possibilities database has to go and pick a table. So when a query run, database has to decide what is the minimum path, means what is the minimum cost. Cost means minimum IO, minimum network I will use, the cheapest one, to get my query run successfully. So basically it comes on which order, which method, and which access path. If I talk about which order, so if I say an example of only 5 tables, database has 120 different orders. Then after, let's talk about which method. Every query has, suppose I'm deciding I'm going A, then I'm going C, then going B, then going D, then going E. Take an example. For going A to C, database has 3 options: nested loop, short merge join, and hash join. Same C to B, 3 options. Same B to D, 3 options. D to E, 3 options. So basically 3 into 3 into 3 into 3, 3 to the power 4, 81 different methods database can go and access the one table to another table. So how much I learned? 122 and 81. Which access path? Now index come into the picture, guys. Which access path? Multiple paths possible. Index full scan, table full scan, range scan, unique scan, star transformation, bitmap, B-tree, so many combination. Consider only 5, suppose. So 5 into 5 into 5 into 5 into 5. It means 120 into 81 into 3125 is equal to close to 3 million different possible ways database can run your query. And database has to choose out of these 3 million which one is the cheapest. So do you think database will run all these 3 million? No, because if database tried running all these 3 millions, a lot of time is just consumed just to find out the cheapest path. So database will follow pragmatic approach, pragmatic approach and do 2000 best guess, 2000 best guess and choose one of them. That sometimes with the complex SQL, database did a mistake and choose a wrong path. Choose a wrong path. That is possible. There are many scenarios I can explain it. For example, let's explain this thing. For example, suppose I have to go to, suppose Noida to New Delhi. Okay, take an example. Okay.
Yeah, I love these simple examples, by the way.
Noida to New Delhi, for example, I have multiple options. Suppose
Mhm.
I can use metro. If I use metro, maybe I can just, maybe I don't know exact price, consider 50 rupees. I spend 50 rupees, it save my time. It save my time. But again, what the problem is? Maybe there are a lot of traffic, so many people, I have to be in the queue to go inside the metro. But yes, it is saving time. But yes, a lot of this is not comfortable, because and comfortable in the sense I have to go into the queue, lot of traffic, so many people, and I don't want to do that. Okay, let's take a Uber. In Uber, maybe I spend 400 or 500 rupees. But yes, it takes save time, but I have to make extra money. Okay, but suppose I will took a bus. Maybe the bus will take 10 rupees, but yeah, it will take 2 hours to take me to Noida to New Delhi. Suppose I have a bike. I will go to bike, maybe it's just 5 rupees petrol, and I will go here. Maybe it will take 40 minutes or 50 minutes to reach here. So multiple options to go and take that, go to Noida to New Delhi. Suppose I choose comfort and I go from Noida to New Delhi by using Uber and I paid 400 rupees. Okay. But I don't know the coupon. I try to search a coupon. I go to multiple website and try to search, can I get a coupon for
Mhm.
Uber? And some website give me, right? I choose 6 to 7 website and I got a coupon. I use it and I get a 10% discount. I am very happy that I got a discount. But there is a website. That website is called, for example, abcd.com. And
Mhm.
it every new registration, it gives 20% discount. But I haven't checked that website. I just check only 6 to 7 websites and I got 10% discount coupon. If I check abcd.com, I got 20% discount coupon that I may apply here and my price become 320. This is the mistake what database do. Database just did only 2000 best guess. You saw that example. I have 3 million possibilities to run the path, run the same query. But database is doing 200, sorry, 2000 best guess. So one time if database did a mistake, a path will be created and that creative plan has value, and that plan hash value will go and store into the library cache. So
Got you.
whenever a new query is running, the query will, as I told you, remember in the last slide I told you, the query will go to parser, from parser to optimizer, from optimizer to executor. In parser, I have two options. I have to go for the soft parsing or hard parsing. Soft parsing means what? When the query ran already previously and I have stored their plan hash value into the library cache, so my database will not go and waste the time into which order, which method, and which access path. Database decide already know that a plan hash value decided and follow the same plan hash value. So if I decide, if database is choose one time wrong plan as value, the same plan as value is repeated again and again and again and again and again. So database did a mistake. So that's why it's our responsibility to fine tune the query. So 90% of the problem will be resolved in the real time scenario if we rewrite the query. That's also a solution. Rewriting the query means we can use common table expressions, for example.
Mhm.
Common table expression, what it will do, it will is a divide and conquer approach. It's make your long query into small parts and combine them together. The best funda of performance tuning is filter the data as early as possible. So if you use a common table expression and filter the data in my first CTE block, so what happens is here, the less amount of data will flow down. So it make my performance faster. Next thing what we can see the query, that is there any distinct and union will be used. Can I remove it? Is it there any left join use? Can I replace by inner join? Because left join means all data from left side table. So it takes use one of the data. So can I remove it by using inner join? Is my query using order by? Can I remove order by? Because order by is a costly operation. My query is doing, for example, in and exist. If suppose a lot of data is, can I remove in via exist? It makes my performance faster. These steps I am doing when I'm talking about database performance. But remember, always start with the explain plan. So performance tuning is what? Performance tuning is basically a practice to improve my SQL query in such a way so that it will run as fast as possible and streamline my database performance. So when we're talking about database, we're only doing four things. Either I'm selecting something, or I'm inserting something, or I'm updating, or I'm deleting. That's it. Only these four things I'm doing. So when I'm talking
Correct.
about insert, update, delete, it means I'm processing DML operation. If I'm writing select, it means I'm taking DQL operation, data query language. So when I'm doing DML operation, suppose that my procedure is taking time. The procedure contains DML, insert, update, delete. So there is the short solution is for DML is bulk collection. Bulk collect for all is introduced into the database. Bulk collect for all. This introduced into the database just to improve the performance of my DML activity, because bulk collect and for all, bulk collect use to fetch all data in one shot, basically reducing context switching. Context switching means my SQL engine going to the PL SQL engine, PL SQL reverted back to the SQL engine. This one transfer of control, this one to and fro is called one context switch. So when I'm writing a bulk collect, it means I'm hitting the table only once. It means just one context switch, I take all the data and coming back. So it means all data I'm storing in one place, I'm not hitting the table again and again and again. So when my context switch will decrease, my performance increase. So context switch and performance are universally proportional to each other, right? They are inversely proportional, not directly, inversely. Means when my context switch decrease, my performance increase. So bulk collect and for is a short solution for DML. Second is what? We can use no logging with append hint. What is this? This is direct path insert. What it will do? It will do minimal of redo logging and make my query performance faster in case of DML operation. But guys, the main problem comes when we talk about select query. This is the main performance hazard when we're talking about a select statement. Select statement took time. When the select statement took time, then what we can do? Main, we have to focus on two things. How to avoid overhead on CPU and how to avoid overhead on memory. These two things we have to take care. That is how you have to talk to the interviewer. You are showing your approach. What is your approach? What is you doing? So sir, when I am talking, I am taking care how to avoid overhead on CPU, how to avoid overhead on memory. CPU means, again, I have to, how do you know CPU? I have to check explain plan first. I have to see that
Right.
indexes are appropriate or not. I will see my stats are appropriate or not. I will see that every my I am using bulk binding or not. I will see that can I use with clause with materialize hint or not. I
Got
can
you.
see that I should not use distinct and union. I will see that I should avoid using select star, only use the columns I need. I can see, can I remove my like operator wildcard search? Can I use in string in top of it? Can I reduce my in clause and use exist clause on top of it? Can I avoid my functions like where, upper, lower, trim, trunk? Can I remove all these things? That can help me to avoid overhead on CPU. When I
Mhm.
talk about how to avoid overhead on memory, so we can take the help of DBAs, that I can see how to tune my buffer cache, how to tune my SGA PGA, and how to tune my redo log buffer. These three things come into the picture when we talk about how to avoid overhead on memory. So that is how DBA will. Again, interview will say, but how? What is your approach? So I'm telling you one diagram, you guys, everyone. See this picture, everyone. This is the picture one of my student is prepared, and that is a very for all whatever we are discussing in the class. He prepared this diagram. We'll discuss in the diagram. Interviewer say that my query is not performing well. What do you do? What is your approach? So see, there is something happen. I have to find the long running query. How to find long running query? We have only two options. What is the first option? Either you provide me that this query is not running properly, or I will go and check into the AWR report,
Right.
or I will see into the V dollar session underscore long ops. V dollar session underscore long ops is a view which store all the queries which is taking more than 6 seconds. All that query will store into v dollar session underscore long ops and considered by database as a long running query. So either I can go and pick from here, or I can go and pick from the AWR report, that is basically automatic workload repository. I hope guys you all know about it, but it's okay. You can tell to the interviewer that I will ask my DBA to generate me AWR report. Right? That's completely okay, because that is a real time scenario. Everybody does not have access to generate AWR report. So if you see that I will ask my DBA, that's completely fine. And then I got the query. Then I will first see, is there any blocking session? Because query is working perfectly fine since yesterday, right? Till yesterday, right? There is no problem till yesterday. So first I will see why query is not running fine right now. Is there any blocking session? If yes, then I will kill the session after DBA confirm and run the query again. But suppose there is no blocking session, my query is stuck. Then I will see here, is there any recent changes performed? Recent changes means, can I, is it any new indexes created on the tables? Is there any new sequence created? Is my table altered? New foreign key created? Something happened with my table. Any new thing inserted or alterated? Something happened with my table, with all the tables which are used in the query? Anything happened? Or is there any large volume operation performed? Means since yesterday till today, in this time being, is a large volume operation means use data, insert, update, delete activity performed on any of the table. If my answer is yes, then I will ask my DBA to compute the stats. Analyze table, table name, computer statistics, analyze index, index name, computer statistics, that make my query performance faster. If suppose no, nothing will happen, then I will go and check the history of SQL to check plan hash value. The plan hash value will store where? Into the AWR report. Because you are saying the query was running perfectly fine yesterday. So I will see the what is the plan hash value yesterday, what is the plan hash value today. If you remember a few minutes before, I told you
Right.
when the
Right.
query run first time, database has to decide which order, which method, and which access path. Depend upon which order, which method, which access path, whatever database is finalized, it generate a plan hash value and store into the library cache. And that plan hash value and SQL ID will never change. It will continue for the same query until and unless the new is not generated. So I will see my plan hash value is change. If I say yes, my plan hash value is change. So I will check is stale stats. Where can I see? In DB underscore statistics table, there is a column called is stale stats. If this value is yes, then I will ask my DB to compute the stats. If my value is no, it means my plan hash value is changed, but my previous plan hash value is not stale. So I will ask my DBA to pin the optimal plan. DBA will pin the optimal plan by using SPM, that is plan management. By using SQL plan management, DBA will able to pin the optimal plan. If still suppose my plan as value is not changed, still my query is taking time, then what can we do? We can see my query is taking time. Yesterday, is it increase in volume? Like yesterday, I'm processing, for example, 100,000 records. Today, I'm processing 300,000 records. Means today, I have to process a lot of more data as compared to yesterday. So that's why my query is taking time. That is completely normal. Second thing I can see, what is the best time to run? Like yesterday, you are running the query at 7 p.m. after business hours. Today, you are running the query at 3 p.m. in
Hmm.
business hours when lots of users are using the system. That's why my query can perform slow. It may be possibility. Next thing I can see any issue with storage layer. As I told you, how to avoid overhead on memory. So here I can take the help of DBA to check the storage issue, the temporary allocation issues. So these things I have to see. If you ever to explain this flow chart diagram to the interviewer, right? He will understand that what exactly step you follow to tune your query. So that is a real-time scenario, guys. I'm discussing how to tune your query. So start with explain plan. Explain plan is the first thing from where it decided how the query get tuned. Okay, and then we can see what happened with my query, and depend upon the problem, we have to treat the query accordingly. So that's it. That is how you have to speak to the interviewer at the time of interview when the question comes related to the performance tuning.
Vishal, this is a
Thank you.
fantastic approach that you've shared. It's very logical, step by step, where you're thinking through the approach.
Yeah,
Because you have said in many sessions that your answer sometimes may not be perfect, may not be 100% perfect in great language, but but if you explain like this step by step logically, the interviewer is able to see your overall approach to the question and be able to this
exactly.
should be very
Interviewer
helpful for
has
them.
to understand your approach. You interviewer and you both are in a technical discussion. And
Right.
interviewer should understand that yes, if I'm hiring this guy, does this guy able to work with me? If you talk about that, I will create
Correct.
index and my problem will be solved. It
Mm.
means it is a perception straightforward that you never work on performance tuning issues. Never.
Yes,
He will
Vishal.
never select you.
Yeah, many people I've seen, they typically on LinkedIn or YouTube, they'll create some, generic videos, and they'll everybody is sharing some PDF. They'll share some PDF, and people will ratify that PDF. Ratify meaning, understand. I'm using a Hindi. Sorry, I'm using typical word.
Yeah,
People
yeah,
just
I understand.
cram it. People just cram it, and think that that is the right answer. People do not even understand the difference between a wrong answer and a right answer anymore, because they are busy watching YouTube or Instagram somebody or but this is real, this is very real. Thank you so much, Vishal, for doing this today.
Thank you. Thank you so
By the
much,
way,
sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so
uh,
much.
today is a special festival in your home, so I believe uh,
Thank you.
yeah,
Yes.
very happy festivity day to you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Vishal. Thank you so much. Thank you.